lasa kanu kwaja siwe ohi oya.
Skungwai is such a special place. It's a beautiful showcase of the architecture and the art. It's also a showcase of the stories too, like the poles which are still standing tell a great story of the people who lived here.
Hawalasa kanu kwaja siwe ohi oya. Yehu oh yeah, yehu oh yeah, yehu oh yeah, yehu oh yeah. Hawalasa kanu kwaja siwe.
In 2018, there was quite a severe hurricane force event.
Broke the tops of a lot of these trees out and created a lot of tree throws.
All of these trees blew over behind the village and around the boardwalk, and it caused quite a lot of devastation.
One of the most sacred sites that I know on Haida Gwaii had taken some damage.
Just to come out on the back beach and see that amount of trees down at once, it felt like I was in a total different place. It wasn't the same anymore.
When I look around, like my feelings now, I feel sad for this site.
But in the face of tragedy, you can sometimes work something out to make the best of the situation. With those tree throws, although tragic, it presents an opportunity to understand our people's way of life during a transitionary age. As these few trees have thrown up and lifted floorboards off the ground and shown us a snapshot into that day-to-day life, they've allowed us to translate and communicate with our ancestors very clearly.
That was really exciting because you can sort of see the things that people were doing in that house back then. It definitely gives us a chance to sort of explore Skungwai in a way that hasn't really been looked at in the past.
Before, with the spiritual and the cultural sensitivity, they haven't been able to do a really in-depth dig. So it's a kind of a first, which is really exciting.
This is the first year of a 3-year project. So this year we focused on 2 priority locations that we identified in 2019. And these are House 3 and House 10. House 10, which is people wish to be their house, is the one you see right behind me here.
It was a chief's house. It stood sort of in the middle of the village, right beside a little tiny creek that goes through the village onto the beach.
And also, since we found that clam with the pigment, I want to check every piece of clam.
Right in the okay.
This is a house where 2 tree throws basically peeled up the floor, the living floor of the house, and we're excavating to better understand what that house floor was like and what activities were going on inside that house.
So that tree is lifted up and lifted all the floorboards of that longhouse up. So it's like opening the trunk to a goodie box. You never know what you're going to find.
One of the things I've found super great about this project is that we're a team with diverse knowledge and working with the Watchmen and Haida Gwaii Museum staff, learning local perspectives And so they've really helped inform our understanding of what these artifacts mean coming out of the ground.
Here. In the Haida world, having such like a, this is the only site I've seen that's been using quartz like this. Yeah.
There's amazing preservation here. Usually things like wood and seeds and organic material that way don't really preserve that well on the coast. But at this house, we're getting very good preservation.
It kind of just gives us an understanding about what was going on before people had to leave this village.
House 3 is Thunder Rolls Upon It house, and that's Chief Nunstance's house. House 3 is characterized by semi-subterranean structure, which has 2 platforms that have been excavated out into the floor of the house.
These guys used to just walk right down. This wall was likely already like a 45-degree angle.
Well, it's just like that one.
It was more like
It was
that.
just like the front.
Through our excavations there, we've observed that the ground primarily is well-draining old beach gravels. So a couple thousand years ago, sea levels were a little bit higher in this area and it would have left a stranded beach.
That was removed.
That was our light storage spot.
They are actually at the floorboards of the house now, so that you could actually see floorboard planks and then the strapping that held them together. So.
Back of the house here. There's a couple artifacts that have come out of House 10 that we're pretty excited about.
Musket plates and stuff that have fallen in the cracks of the boards, buttons, beads, everything you can think of.
I really love that. I really love seeing a button that I could have on my blanket coming out of a floorboard in a longhouse. My mind flies directly into the potlatch that happened in that house where that person was dancing and the button came off, and I picture that, and that feels so good. You know what I mean? Yeah, that feels really good. It's so fun to see the continuity of culture.
So that's the exact same spot.
The argillite pieces are quite exciting for me, just due to that I'm a carver too, and to see something, you know, makes you wonder who touched it last or who was the person to tuck it under the floorboards with his tools. Obviously he planned on coming back.
Check out the other side. It's the face and probably the face of that original argillite carving.
Oh my god.
So,
That's the matching section.
yeah. Wow.
So cool. Oh wow. That looks beautiful. It's a pretty good fit. Human occupation on Skungwite dates back to 10,700 years. And in between then and the present, there are a lot of time gaps in between. So it would be really interesting to see how we could fill in those gaps.
Where to next?
Halfway down this hill.
Sure.
I'm excited to move forward from this year, having met the crew, and build a more pointed timeline scientifically to match up with our very detailed timeline with oral history.
Alawiyo.